Okay, we're now ready to start our flat part of the door. You notice I've got cardboard on the floor here, so we can roll right down to the floor with this roller. The first area we're going to paint is this bottom panel, but I'm also going to run up into the next panel, and this will make a lot of sense once we get going. And again, just quickly getting the paint onto the door. Now, I'm going to roll up into this area just slightly. And the reason that we do this is a typical area where we see the brush marks, as we typically finish this area down here and we move up the door or up this side of the door when we come back to this area. So this way, we're going to go ahead and finish this small area here, and we're going to smooth our paint across in the natural direction of the wood grain on the door. And again, just a soft, easy touch on the brush to smooth this out. Now this area is complete, and we're going to begin a progression up the door, keeping this paint wet the whole time. So we'll apply some paint to this side panel and start moving up the door here. Now as I'm rolling the paint on, I'm making sure I get right up to the panel. We can actually lay the brush over a little bit as we smooth. And again, I'm following the natural direction of the door. This is all going to blend together well. We're still wet here, but we've got to get back to this area pretty quick. So we'll finish out this side. And again, I'm brushing down here, following the natural direction of the grain of the door. And we're not going to get back into this area with our brush. This has been drying for a little bit. Certainly not dry enough to give us any problems, but we'll add a little paint here, and we'll smooth down into this and gently lift off your brush in an outward motion. We're going to add some paint over here. And we'll just continue to progress up the door this way. And again, as I smooth, if we transition over here a little bit, this paint is already dry on our raised panel areas. There's no problem overlapping a little bit. We'll add a little paint over here. Now, if you really want to speed up this technique and you have a helper, the helper can actually roll the paint on for you, and you can simply focus on brushing and smoothing the paint. And again, we'll add some paint over here. Now, this is a little transition point. We're obviously getting into this center area. So as we bring this across, spreading the paint for good coverage. Now, I'm going to run a little bit of paint up into this next section again, so we can have all this complete and blend together nicely. We'll finish out the bottom panel here. I'm going to go ahead and brush up into this. The reason we do this, I don't want this direction back down into the center. So we're going to complete this center area. And again, with the natural break of the door, just smoothing across. We'll go ahead and complete our sides now. Now, if I had the handle installed on the door, of course, we would just have this taped off with painter's tape. Use the same technique. Now, I did roll over into this, so I want my brush marks or my brush strokes going from left to right in the center panel, but again, then we'll natural break on the door, downward, and gently lifting off.